A game-changing diesel locomotive weighing in at 100 tons.
It's the headline, it's the big star of the show.
Can an expert team move this mammoth engine 184 miles without damaging its pristine paintwork?
Just squeezing past these parked cars.
A revolutionary new passenger train built in Spain.
The commuters will notice a superior train in reduced journey times.
Rightio, we're on the move. Yeah, got it, got it.
Can a team transport this giant of the rails 215 miles in time for its first scheduled departure?
We don't want to go any further and bend it and break it.
The teams must battle smashed tracks,
It could derail this wheel, see?
torrential weather,
The weather's not good at the moment, but we have to get on with it.
and miscalculations
He's only got a couple of inches on the front end.
She's just not quite long enough.
to deliver these enormous engines on time.
This is where the skill comes into it now.
A titanic task, even for the world's toughest train truckers. Cutting through the heart of rural Leicestershire runs a very special railway line. A heritage line called the Great Central Railway that attracts over 100,000 visitors every year from as far afield as China. This 8-mile-long line is the only mainline heritage railway in the UK that has double tracks, allowing historic trains to run in both directions. A prized collection of steam and diesel trains shuttle enthusiasts through the countryside. And this autumn, a unique engine will visit the line for a special gala. An iconic diesel engine called the Deltic 55019, also known as the Royal Highland Fusilier.
When it comes to choosing a guest loco, we always look for one which will bring a crowd. Deltics always bring in a good crowd of people.
The Deltic diesel engines were first built in 1961 to replace steam trains. The Royal Highland Fusilier is extremely precious. It's one of only 2 working diesel Deltics that survive to this day.
For sheer brute force and impressiveness, the Deltics were literally top of the pile. They were the king of diesels.
The Deltic slashed journey times. They were just so much more efficient. The acceleration was superior, the top speed was superior. They could just cut those journey times down.
The Deltics had 2 engines that boosted its power to revolutionize rail journeys in Britain. It became the fastest and most economical way to travel, leaving the steam locomotive firmly in the sidings.
It was a massive step forward in the train performance. This was the first 100-mile-an-hour diesel locomotive in Britain.
This groundbreaking diesel engine is always a crowd pleaser.
They're very special because it's a small fleet and they were such a prestigious locomotive. And of course they were always popular with the enthusiasts to an enormous degree.
The Royal Highland Fusilier is maintained by the Deltic Preservation Society. To help cover the cost of its upkeep, they hire it out to heritage railways around the world for special occasions. Today, the locomotive needs hauling 184 miles by road from its yard to the Great Central Railway's Gala Fair. The engine is nearly 22 meters long. Moving this giant will be a Herculean task.
Alice heavy-haulage.
In the Midlands, there is a company that devises unique solutions to challenges like this. Perilous is a family-run firm that specialises in moving heavy-duty railway locomotives, old and new.
We started initially just standard trucks and grown over the years. It's been going for approximately 55 years and it continues to grow from strength to strength.
Their hard-working crews and innovative machinery are capable of hauling train engines and carriages across the globe.
We are the only company in the UK who have trailers made specifically for us for moving trains.
The Royal Highland Fusilier weighs in at nearly 100 tons. Transporting this colossus will be a challenging feat of engineering. The team need to ensure they choose the best route, the meatiest trucks, and an expert crew to get this job done. The crew will need to transport the Royal Highland Fusilier 184 miles from Spa Valley Railway, Tunbridge Wells, to the Great Central Railway in Loughborough. The most direct route has roadworks. These make it impossible for the crew to navigate their huge load through. So the team need to take an alternative route. It's the day of the big move. The crew has just 48 hours to deliver the historic engine to its destination.
Yeah, with us, yeah.
Heading up the trucking team is Eric Harrison, who has moved over 1,000 trains in his time.
Now the fun starts.
Assisting him is his sidekick, Chris Case, who has got more than 15 years of train trucking under his belt.
Happy, yeah?
Exactly so, yeah.
And braving the atrocious weather to say farewell to the Royal Highland Fusilier before its epic road trip are the members of the Spa Valley Railway.
We've got nice fresh rolls, we've got sausages, onions, the full works, relish, you name it, it's here. But don't tell the other lot up there.
First task. Before truckers Eric and Chris arrive on site,
well, I'm going to build the ramps that they winch it up.
the team must build an 18-metre long ramp to help load the engine onto the trailer.
They'll do it whatever the weather. It's got to go today, that's it.
They race to assemble the numerous sections of steel that make up the ramp. Delays en route mean Eric and Chris reach the yard at 2 p.m, which will make loading a rush.
If we get loaded and it's after 4 o'clock, he can't leave here in the rush hour, so he'll be stuck here till at least 7 o'clock this evening.
Next challenge. Eric and Chris need to manoeuvre their 104-wheeled trailer close to the ramp. A perilous job. The unit and trailer are over 30 metres long. There's not enough space at this junction for them to make a sharp left turn. To help overcome this problem, the wheels at the front and rear of the trailer can steer independently. This should allow the team to guide the trailer up the narrow lane into the yard.
Okay, yeah, bring it back whenever you're ready.
The first challenge we got is getting into here. It's a very difficult turning, so there's a bit of manoeuvring to get in. We might have to shunt backwards and forwards 2 or 3 times to get straight. With this trailer, it's quite clever. We can steer both ends at the same time. So we'll have Chris steering the back and I'll get Jason to steer the front. So we should get in without any major problems.
Pretty good, 25 foot to go. Ish.
And then hopefully Dave's got the ramp set up so we can back straight up to it, set the trailer, and then we can start winching it up.
How's that looking front wise?
2 foot.
Just got to put the last section of ramp in now, and we should be good to go.
The trailer may now be lined up with the ramp. But it's already 2:30 and the engine is a long way off being loaded. To add to the pressure, heavy load drivers like Eric can only be on the road for 9 hours a day. He's already used up 7 driving hours reaching the yard.
I started driving at about 8 o'clock this morning, so that means I can't drive past 11 o'clock this evening, and we can't travel in the rush hour. So I suspect we'll probably get loaded by about 4 o'clock, and then we'll just have 2 or 3 hours to kill, and then we'll set off at 7 o'clock.
The next task is to pull the Deltic onto the trailer. With up to 100 tons of pure metal to move, they hook a heavy-duty winch onto the front.
Just making sure that it's not derailed, it's keeping on the rails as it's going up and nothing's going to catch. Because there's lots of things hanging down low, they're not designed to go up a ramp usually. So you have to make sure that nothing's catching. Hold it there, Chris. No, it's no good there, ain't Dave.
The ramp doesn't line up with the rails.
It could derail this wheel, see? I don't want when it comes down, this wheel to miss the rail.
We'll keep pushing the ramp out a little bit.
The team need to get the Royal Highland Fusilier back on track.
He's kicked the rail out there and the second axle's going to miss.
Which is no easy task.
As it comes up, it's going to miss the ramp, isn't it?
Eric's team is battling to load the massive 100-ton Royal Highland Fusilier onto a trailer for its 184-mile journey north to the Great Central Railway Gala event in Loughborough. But at the moment, they're going nowhere fast. The tight bend in the track is causing the heavy locomotive to push the ramp out of alignment.
There's just too tight a bend to come off to go onto our trailer.
They must reverse the engine.
Back about another half a metre, please.
And find a way to tie the rails together, or the heavy load could derail.
Okay, that'll do there.
Dave reduces the gauge to stop the tracks splaying apart.
Well, we'll bring it down a bit and we'll alter the gauge on the rail here to give it more of a chance to get onto our rail, because it's trying to go this way, it's pushing the rail this way. So we need to make sure the rail stays the correct side. No, it's no good, is it? No, coming back down again.
But it's not enough.
Yeah, it's all in line there, but once it starts coming up, it's just pushing the track out all the time.
Hammer a pin in.
Yeah, I'm going to get a hammer. Well, we're good here. We've hammered a pin in quite well, so we should stay in place now.
But Eric's not taking any chances.
When we get it down, let's try and hold it better somehow, aren't we?
Along with the steel pin, he's securing the rails with a super strong nylon strap.
I'm just wondering if you got a strap on there. On here, on top, pulled over something heavy there.
Just tuck this strap here. Go on then, pull.
It's not the easiest one we've ever done.
This belt and braces solution does the trick and holds the rails together.
Yes, it's all on the line now, so it's going up now.
It takes an hour and a half to winch the vintage Royal Highland Fusilier onto the trailer.
That's it, it's on. That was a pig, weren't it?
But the delays have stacked up. It's now rush hour when the team are prohibited from taking to the road to avoid snarl-ups. "160 miles north at their headquarters, a second team from Perilous is preparing a fleet of machines to undertake another very special train trucking mission.
OK, it's not a problem. When are you looking at bringing the next sit in?
They need to transport a brand new commuter train that's been designed and built in Spain.
I propose that we load 3 at the port. We bring them back to our facility overnight. We can have the first one in before morning rush. It'll probably take us about an hour and a half to offload that. So we can have all 3 off by mid-afternoon.
This is the CAF 195. It's the latest passenger train, boasting a streamlined aerodynamic design and a top speed of 100 miles per hour. 6-speed transmission makes it more economical than traditional commuter trains and extends its service life. The train is manufactured at this factory in northern Spain. Each unit is powered by its own onboard diesel engine. This eliminates the need for a separate diesel engine to pull the carriages. Workers here are constructing 58 units for Arriva trains to operate around the cities of Manchester and Liverpool. The new rolling stock is fully air-conditioned, has power sockets, Wi-Fi, and an electronic seat reservation system.
The commuters will notice a superior train and hopefully reduce journey times. It will be like going from a Morris Minor to a Lamborghini in comfort and facilities. These are brand new trains, replacing trains which are 30+ years old.
Each train unit can hold up to 204 passengers. High-capacity units of 2 and 3 cars are set to become commonplace on the Manchester and Liverpool lines.
There is an extensive testing programme for any new train in the UK. They have to achieve usually 1,000 fault-free miles before they will even be accepted by the company. This can take usually a few months. There's no room for error in this. They can't have a problem.
Cargo ships transport each unit from docks in Bilbao, Spain, to Bristol in the UK, a journey of over 23 hours. Today, 3 cars have arrived in Bristol's docks. Alali's team now need to haul them by road to Liverpool, where they will be put through rigorous tests before starting passenger service. Each jumbo train car measures just under 24 metres long, making the journey by road a perilous one. 3 crews will need to haul the unit 215 miles from the Royal Portbury Docks, Bristol, to the test centre in Liverpool. They'll stop off at their headquarters for an overnight break. The size and weight of the loads will make the convoy difficult to navigate. Roadworks will restrict one crucial part of the route where they will need to straddle 2 lanes to get through. Royal Portbury Docks. It's early morning and the unit needs to be in Liverpool in less than 48 hours' time for testing to begin. It will take 3 teams of 2 to transport the loads.
We'll crack on now then, get loaded and get out of here.
Heading up Crew 1 is Callum Broadhurst. A newbie to the world of heavy haulage, his cab is like a second home to him.
Take me right back to just past the Audi there, and I'll take a big sweep in.
First challenge. Transfer each car off their mobile pallets, known as maffies, onto a trailer, without a scratch or dent.
Because we're loading from the maffy onto the back of the trailer, you've got a bit of a gap there, so we just watch each other load, make sure nothing happens, no damage is done or anything. More eyes are better.
They're brand new, we don't want to damage anything. So plenty of eyes makes it easier.
Colin is gearing up to haul the first car. He has a pressing engagement back home, so wants to get this job done fast.
If I don't get home tonight, I will get lynched. My son Kieran is a young firefighter, and tonight is a big passing out ceremony for him at the fire station in Redditch. So yeah, if I'm not there, I don't think I'll be getting my dinner for the rest of the week.
Moving these gargantuan cars will be tough, but there's an extra complication. The crew must load and unload the cars in a precise order. The 3-car unit is designed to travel in both directions. This makes changing direction on the line a quick and smooth operation. But if the middle car ends up at either the rear or the front, this cleverly designed modular train can only travel in one direction. Colin carefully checks the order and starts to load the first car.
You want to come back? Just creep back a little bit.
Coming back, mate.
It takes great precision to line the trailer up to the maffy.
Are we all hooked on now, yeah?
Yeah, we're winching on.
Right. We're just starting to winch it on across from the maffy onto the trailer.
If the rails on the maffy veer out of alignment with the rails on the trailer, the train car could derail.
Yeah, keep going, mate. Sweet.
Just as they get moving, they run into trouble.
Up his back end. He's just catching here. Go on. See, he's just catching there. And obviously we don't want to go any further and bend it and break it.
The angle of the ramp has caught on part of the train car. They need to act fast, or they could risk damaging the brand new unit. They need to lower the trailer to reduce the angle of the ramp. This should allow them to move the car onto the trailer smoothly.
All right, mate, yeah?
Yeah.
Bubs, nice and steady, mate. Creep it on.
They adjust the angle.
Nice and steady, 'cause it'll roll.
The first car starts its ascent up the ramp and onto the trailer. But as the car reaches the front of the trailer,
Is that as high as his neck will go?
they hit a major problem.
Is that it?
Right, you got another foot, Cole.
Yeah. Another foot here.
Another foot?
Yeah. He's only got a couple of inches on the front end. And obviously we need to go another foot. The trailer's quite long enough.
But rectifying this could eat further into their precious time.
Oh, don't tell me this now.
This could be disastrous for Colin, who's desperate to make it home tonight. This miscalculation as to the length of the trailer needs to be addressed immediately if they are able to get this monstrous move on the road today.
She's just not quite long enough. You can see there, she's up against the neck and the back wheels are still on the maffy.
We've just got to block it here. And I'll just extend it out.
The crew's innovative trailers can extend to take super long loads. But adapting this trailer with the 40-ton car balanced on the top will take great skill.
All right.
Go on. Got about a foot now. Stop it. That's it, stay in there.
One down, two to go.
Keep going, nice and steady. Go on, keep it going. Foot now.
But this doesn't seem to be Colin's day.
I think he's got a bit of a puncture. He's having to change his tyre on the far side.
There was some damage on the tyre, so rather than risk going back with it, thought we'd better change it now. So I thought I'd bring my new toy out to play.
It takes all morning to load the three cars.
Dave, nice and steady, mate.
Yeah, that'll do.
Went well, nice and smooth. Hopefully, wait for security to get us out on the motorway and get gone.
11:30. They're loaded up and ready to hit the road. But they need to wait for a Port Authority escort to lead them out of the docks.
Well, hopefully the police should turn up round about midday to escort us out of the docks.
There's bad news for Colin and the crew.
What a flop.
Unfortunately, we have to wait for the police. They're short of staff today, so we've got to wait till 1 o'clock roughly before they let us out.
But an hour and a half's wait increases the likelihood of hitting rush hour traffic when they finally get moving.
We've got to hurry up.
Another hour on the job.
12:53.
5 to 1.
It's 6:30 p.m. At the Royal Highland Fusilier's yard, after a 3-hour wait for the rush hour to die down, Eric's team is gearing up for the 184-mile road trip north to the Great Central Railway Gala event.
We'll leave it 20 minutes, 25 minutes or so, and then we'll set off.
The traffic may be dying down on the motorway, but Eric and his crew also need to navigate their way through smaller, busier roads. First obstacle, these narrow streets.
It's not a great route. You've got everything stacked against you here. It's good fun because there's double parked cars.
Squeezing 30 metres of truck weighing 185 tonnes, through narrow suburban streets is not for the faint-hearted.
Forward nice and steady, yeah.
There's a couple of tight turnings.
Come up on your right now.
Eric is in the driver's seat, while Jason and Chris steer both ends of the trailer around these houses. The first turn tests their skills to the limit.
What's it look like there, Jace?
I'll just come up the top here now and have a look.
The slightest miscalculation and the engine could get stuck.
Well, we get past this bit of a lay-by here, let this car out.
Eric is just millimeters from the Jaguar as he weaves the front end of his truck around these vehicles.
And of course, the problem with going out on an evening is that people have parked their cars and gone in their houses for their tea, and the last thing they want to do is come out and move their cars to let you pass. We're just squeezing past these parked cars.
That's the last of the parked cars. Yeah, all the cars are actually gone now.
That was tight, but there are more hazards above their heads.
One of the problems you have, especially with the height of the loco, is the low branches on the trees. So you have to be careful that you're not scratching all the paint on it.
They pick up the pace as the road widens. Jason keeps a close eye on the traffic from his escort vehicle behind.
Yeah, we're moving again now, Jace.
Okay, mate, clear right round.
But 1 mile into their 184-mile journey, they're still a long way from the home straight.
Yeah, this one here looks quite narrow. Heck.
They finally hit the open road.
Yeah, left at the bottom here, guys.
Jason must guide Eric around every twist and turn.
Just round this left-hand bend, we come into a junction. We want to do a left on, mate.
They daren't travel any faster than 30 miles per hour. Just 20 miles into the journey, Eric's 9 hours of driving time for the day runs out, and they are forced to pull over for the night.
It's quite a difficult route for a heavy load. That's us done now for the night. We'll go and grab a shower and something to eat, and then retire for the night then. And we can't move till after rush hour in the morning, so we'll get up about 8 o'clock and be ready to move by 9. Chris gets the top bunk, I'll get the bottom bunk, it's a little bit wider.
At Royal Portbury, after a 2-hour delay, Sam and Colin are still waiting for police to escort the 3-car train convoy out of the docks for their 215-mile trek to Liverpool. It's nearly 1 p.m. Colin is desperate to miss the rush hour traffic so he can make it to his son's passing out parade this evening.
I wanted to be leaving the yard at 4, but as long as I'm at the fire station before 6 o'clock, that's the deadline. Yeah. Everyone's got to be there by 6, but really I need to go home, get showered up and changed.
1 o'clock and the police escort arrives.
Rightio, we're on the move.
Yeah, got your call.
Colin leads the massive convoy. The team must haul the cars in the right order so they can unload and hook them up in the correct configuration when they arrive at their destination.
You hear me, Kev?
Yeah, got your call.
Yeah, what speed do you want to run at, mate?
Well, 40.
Yeah, okay.
With a top speed of 40 miles per hour, missing rush hour looks like a long shot. They pick up the pace on the open road, but keeping the convoy together is a challenge.
What are we doing for time, Colin?
What we got? Just gone half 1.
Colin is still in with a good chance of making it to his son's ceremony on time.
We have to see how quick we get in the yard, because I could be asking someone else to park it up for me.
Well, that's it, yeah.
It takes 2.5 hours to travel the 90 miles to their headquarters, where they'll pull up for an overnight stop.
Left there, left.
Escort driver Jamie stops the traffic to allow the convoy to pull into their yard.
Keep that nice and steady.
Backing up the side of ADC, mate, so we're tight to ADC on the offside.
They park the convoy up in order. Against all odds, Colin will be home in time.
It's 3:45, so yeah, I'm okay. So I'm going to run now and go and see my son.
Keep coming.
But before the others can leave, they need to get the rest of the convoy parked up safely for the night. In the southeast, Eric and Chris are getting ready to hit the road again, after spending the night sleeping in their cabs, so they could watch over their precious cargo, the Royal Highland Fusilier.
Quite quiet, to be fair. Hopefully it will be an easier day today. It's just another day in the office.
They have 9 hours to travel 129 miles to deliver the engine on time for the Gala event at the Great Central Railway.
Ready when you are, mate. Right, last one at the moment is that little white Fiesta van thing.
The first challenge of the day is to build up enough speed to haul the 185 tons of vehicle onto one of the country's busiest motorways.
Go on, bud. All good.
Jason warns other drivers to keep their distance from this titanic load.
Okay, mate.
It's Jason's job to keep an open eye for any trouble as they pick up speed.
Nice empty lane behind me. Now look at this. Everybody's behaving today.
"3 p.m. After 6 hours on the road, they reach their destination.
It's left here, isn't it?
Yes, mate, yeah. Yeah, looking good, mate. Go on. Go on.
Eric and the team now need to line up the nearly 22-metre-long delivery with a ramp to enable them to unload this giant smoothly back onto the tracks.
You got it. Lovely job.
This will be relatively straightforward, I would hope. Unload the loco and then put it all away again and head for home.
Well, this is where the skill comes into it. It's a big relief that the loco's arrived in time, in plenty of time for the Gala. It's the headline, it's the big star of the show.
A scratch to its paintwork will not go unmissed by the fans who may have been waiting years to get a glimpse of this iconic engine.
It's been the culmination of a number of months of planning with a view to getting it in for our forthcoming Gala. I'll obviously be completely relieved when it comes down that ramp safely.
Once we're lined up with the ramp, we'll attach the winch onto it, take all the chains off, release the brakes and then let it down the ramp back onto the rails.
Just levelling it up, getting the right angle for offloading and packing the back of the trailer out. To bring it up to the same level as a ramp at the back and then build a bit of a slope in to the front so it runs down.
All eyes are on the wheels to check that the engine doesn't derail as it transitions from the trailer onto the ramp. but just inches from rolling onto the railway tracks, it grinds to a halt.
It's not winning now.
They need raw muscle power to push the Royal Highland Fusilier all the way onto the rails.
Thank God for that.
The crew leave, and this iconic engine can now be prepared for the great Gala event. At Alali's headquarters in Redditch, Colin and Sam gear up for an early start to deliver the 3-car unit to Liverpool.
It's 4:20 in the morning, and we're getting fired up now, ready to head out of our yard. I've got the first train to unload. They've got to be unloaded in an order.
The 3 crews need to navigate the 3 loads the remaining 125 miles from Redditch to Alstom Train Care Liverpool. The size and weight of the loads will make this part of the route the most difficult to navigate. Roadworks will restrict one crucial part of the route, where they will need to straddle 2 lanes to get through. Heavy rain makes the going treacherous.
The weather's not good at the moment, but we have to get on with it.
It takes 7 hours for all 3 cars to reach Liverpool.
Just going to go and pick up the second truck. So we'll go and escort him through the tight bends and the traffic lights. All right, boys?
Yes, man, Deb.
Navigating these 24-metre-long cars through the narrow roads to the rail yard tests their mettle.
Are they set of traffic lights down here, are they?
Yeah. You'll get past me there and I'll rock side of them.
Oh man, coming through.
Jamie halts the traffic to allow Callum to squeeze through.
Just block the first lane of the traffic from the other side so Callum can wrong side the lights.
They make it into the rail yard.
Keep it coming.
Next challenge: unload and hook up the cars in the correct order to form a working 3-car unit.
Pick it back that way. Too much.
Once you're wet for the rest of the day then.
Permanent drip.
I'd say half an hour and we'll be done. Depends how fast these lot want to work. Go on.
They must guard against scratching or denting these valuable new cars.
Just checking for anything catching. All the points at the end of the ramp there, making sure they don't kick out. Go on, keep it going. That's it. Just bang on that.
It takes 3 hours and careful coordination to unload and connect all 3 cars in the right configuration. Now, this pioneering unit will be put through a series of rigorous trials at this testing centre to check that it is safe to enter passenger service. It's the day of the Great Central Railway's Gala event. Hundreds of people are arriving to admire and ride the historic engines. Workers here have prepped and preened 10 vintage diesel trains to take part.
To organise an event like this, you're talking 8 months in the planning, from the point at which you start discussions about visiting locos. If you want the best locos, then you've got to start early.
The 100-ton Royal Highland Fusilier takes pride of place.
There are certainly a big following, and you can pretty much guarantee there will always be a turnout.
If I'm perfectly honest with you, of all of the locomotives I drive, it's the most difficult. Nonetheless, it's an honour to be allowed to drive the Deltics, because there are only a few of them left, and they are so iconic in people's memories.
Riding behind this iconic Deltic diesel engine that revolutionised train travel in the 1960s proves a thrill.
This is the second time I've been behind 19.
Yeah, same here. We've travelled miles and miles for Deltics before, so it's passionate, really. Yeah. I mean, if I had a choice, if somebody says to me, what would you want to go behind tomorrow, I'd say Deltic. That's it. These just do it for me. Ever since I seen one when I was in my pram, funnily enough, it was this one, blew me away. I've been on the main line with them over 100 miles. One of these is capable of doing 110, 115 mile an hour.
There was the most powerfulest diesel locomotive in the world when it was brought out.
Yeah.
For some, the romanticism of the steam age has definitely been overshadowed by the speed and power of the diesel era.
I do prefer diesel traction. I think steam enthusiasts are all right, but they're a little bit conservative.
Yeah, can be, yeah.
Diesel boys are a bit more, rougher, but...
Yeah, not... Yeah, the...
Have more fun.
Yeah.
Have more of a laugh.
More of a laugh and
more fun.
Yeah.
Steam boys tend to be a bit serious.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's the way it is.
We call them kettle bashers.
Yeah.
For me, I am diesel through and through. I grew up with these diesel Galas here, but never in a million years when I was visiting the railway did I think that one day I would be the one organising the events.